questions for the record. This is the second question in Questions for the Record. And the reason why it's called Questions for the Record is that they're questions that really I've found that I can't ask them anywhere. I can't ask them to certain groups of people because there are limitations on what can be answered. And then there's other groups of people that also I can't ask them because there's limitations. So they're questions for the record that they can be answered, I believe, in ultimate truth. Just, I don't know who to ask right now, so I'm asking here. Questions for the record. The second question is, there is a famous verse in Genesis after the sin of Adam and Eve, of Adam and Chava, when God is giving out the various consequences, the punishments of what will happen because of the sin. And he asks Adam, and he asks Eve, but the snake, he doesn't even ask. He just he goes straight to it because he knows exactly that he was fully intentional. Like Adam and Eve, they weren't really intentionally disobeying. They were sort of, they might have been partially intentional, but they were actually tricked to some extent. But the snake is told this in Genesis 3:15. I'll read it here. Ve'eva ashis beincha ubein ha'isha ubein zarcha ubein zara hu yeshuvcha rosh ve'ata teshufenu akev. I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. He will pound your head. And some translations say he will crush your head. And you will bite his heel. I've had a question about this for a long time. How does that play out? How is that meaningful to a person practically? When was the last time you saw a snake bite somebody's heel? Have you ever seen a snake bite someone's heel? I mean, look on any National Geographic videos. I've seen a lot of them. It just doesn't seem that a snake bites the heel. I mean, the snake bites in all places of the body. The snake doesn't particularly bite the heel. And does the man step on the snake's head? I guess maybe it's happened in history, but it just seems that there's more to it than some kind of National Geographic biology lesson. There's more to it than that. And there is an explanation from the Targum Yonasan. I can read it inside. And it says, Udavavu avashe beinach ubein itata ubein zarayas banach ubein zarayas benaha v'yehe kad yohon benaha di'ita natrin mitzvasa d'oraisa yahavian mechavin umachyan yasach al reishach v'chad shavkin mitzvasa d'oraisa teve mechavein unechis yashon mikvehon bram lahon yehe asu v'lach la yehe asu v'asidin inun lemevad shifyusa be'ikva biyoma malka mashiacha. This is a Targum Yonasan. I believe this was a Tana, a rabbi in the first century, who said, he translates this verse to say this: I will put enmity between thee and the woman, between the seed of thy son and the seed of her sons, and it shall be when the sons of the woman keep the commandments of the law, they will be prepared to smite thee upon thy head. But when they forsake the commandments of the law, thou wilt be ready to wound them in their heel. Okay, now we see it's a little bit more of a drasha, it's more of a homiletic, it's more of a symbolic meaning. Okay, so it's not an actual snake, it's not actual biting, it's more it has to do with Torah and mitzvos. But here's where it's interesting. He says in the Aramaic, it goes, Yehei v'asidin inun lemevad shifyusa b'ikva b'yoma malka mashiacha. And he adds, nevertheless, for them there shall be a medicine. But for thee there will be no medicine. Yehei asu v'lach lo yehei asu. And in the future they shall make a remedy for the heel in the days of the King Messiah. What does that mean? They'll make a remedy for the heel in the days of the King Messiah? Means they'll keep the Torah in the days of the King Messiah? So my question is, how do you connect this? How do you explain the heel and the head, smashing of the head, biting of the heel, in a practical way with relation to the Messiah?